Hello friends and fellow VEDSies, and welcome back to Dinner Every Day in September. Before we get started, I need to tell y'all my tragic tale of woe. Last night I was making up some spaghetti, and I happened to use some meat that had gone bad, which I did not realize till I took a bite of the spaghetti. Not a great decision. So I ended up having to completely throw away all of that spaghetti, which tragic, brutal, very sad. But it had the leftover consequence of also leaving me with a bunch of noodles that I don't know what to do with. Fast forward to today. I had to run to the store to get something, and I happened to see that they were selling some shrimp on sale. And I was thinking, pasta, shrimp, I can figure out something to do with these two things. And that's our goal today. This is not going to be like my other videos because I am not following a recipe, and I am definitely not making something that I have made a bunch of other times and just no taste good. So view this video less as a presentation of something that I recommend you cooking and more as a experiment that you get to bear witness to. With that being said, let me lay out our ingredients. Obviously you have the shrimp. This has come pre-seasoned with Old Bay. I have never tasted Old Bay in my life. I know that has paprika and red pepper, so it should be hot. I'm just gonna saute it up with some garlic and salt and pray that it tastes fine. For the sauce itself, you're gonna need butter, milk, I happen to use oat milk, we'll get into that, and all-purpose flour. Now, as it is written in the good book, salt, fat, acid, heat. When you're improvising with pasta, you want to keep it simple. Ideally, no more than 6 ingredients beyond the pasta, protein, and the fats. So for seasoning, we're keeping it super simple. I'll throw in a little bit of garlic to connect the taste of the sauce with the taste of the shrimp. Salt and pepper, obviously the Parmesan, and parsley. I don't have a ton of parsley left, but this should suffice. One other thing, when making a pasta sauce, especially one that is kind of cheesy and creamy, you probably will want cream. I do not have any cream right now, but I don't think this is going to be a problem, and let me explain why. The oat milk that I use instead of regular milk tends to be thicker, so hopefully with that and with adding a little bit of extra flour, I'm able to thicken the dish and then put in some extra Parmesan to kind of create that more creamy texture. This is going to be a thinner sauce than what I would like. However, once again, we are experimenting here. So things are gonna go wrong. And with that being said, let's go over to the stove. Okay, so in one pan, I put in 2 tablespoons of butter. That's going to be the basis for our sauce. And in the other pan, I've mixed together some olive oil and butter, and that's what I'm gonna be sauteing the shrimp in. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw some garlic into the shrimp skillet and just let that cook a little bit, unlock some of those flavors before adding the shrimp. And then a healthy amount of garlic into your sauce dish. Then add in 2 tablespoons of your flour. Keep your flour on hand because we're gonna add a little bit more to that after we put in the milk. Slowly pour and stir in your milk. I'm using 1 3/4 cups of milk. Go ahead and add in a little bit more flour just to thicken out that milk a bit. Go ahead and add in your salt and your pepper and your parsley. And it's at this point that I kind of raised the heat a little bit and just kind of kept it consistently stirring. Also, my skillet was a little too small. Then I threw in about a 1/2 cup of Parmesan. And as I was kind of hoping, that definitely thickened up the sauce a bit. And once that was nice and melted, I went ahead and added the shrimp so that those flavors could start combining. And it's at this point that I just want to apologize to any Italians watching this. I know I'm messing things up, and I know that you should use fresh pasta and all that stuff. But you know what? Sometimes you just gotta work with what you got. And usually with sauce like this, you'd want to serve pretty quickly because the longer you let it sit, the more it kind of hardens up. But you know what? This wasn't thick enough to begin with, so we're just gonna let it kind of simmer for a minute. All right, moment of truth. Oh, let me get my close-up shot. I mean, it kind of looks like pasta, you know? Like, I've definitely had stuff that resembles this before. But it's not about the looks as much as it is about the taste. So, let's see. Well, first off, I kind of forgot that was really hot. I mean, mistakes were definitely made. I think that despite all my valiant attempts to make up for the lack of cream, it definitely could have used some cream. And while the shrimp tastes fine, I don't think I'd season it with Old Bay personally. I think there are some better ways to serve up your shrimp, but I mean, it's fine. I guess the best way to evaluate this is, one, is this a good enough use of these ingredients since I do need to eat them? And the question is, yes. This is perfectly fine to eat. I will eat this for lunch, and I will probably have the leftovers for dinner. Would I serve this to people? Probably not, just because I know better ways of cooking with both pasta and shrimp. But the third way of evaluating this is, could this be the basis for a better dish down the line? To which I would say, yeah. If I had the ingredients needed, and if the ingredients that I had on hand were more fresh, then definitely. And like I said before, I'm sorry, Maryland, I would cut out the Old Bay, but for what it is, it works. And so with that being said, friends and fellow VEDSies, I will see you tomorrow.